All right, so here's our clam dissection we're going to do today. And the first thing you need to be able to do is to be able to recognize a couple of the external parts, and from the external anatomy, to identify the umbo right there. And you notice that the umbo is on the shorter end, if you will, meaning that if you find the umbo like this, everything going this direction then is anterior, everything going this way is posterior. So this is dorsal, this is ventral. So if you imagine that if the umbo's there and this is the short end, that's anterior, this is the right shell, and then this is the left shell. So the first thing we need to do is now cut the two adductor muscles holding the clam shell together. I'm going to open it up. Now, I tore apart a little bit of the mantle there. So when I open my clam up, once again, this is the anterior and the posterior. I can see right away my posterior adductor muscle, and I can see part of my anterior adductor muscle that would hold the clam shell closed. This very thin layer, well, let's do this here. So once again, this is the peristracum layer. Then we have the nacreous layer here, and then the prismatic layer is between these two. There's my hinge, there's my umbo. Where this connects right here is called the pallial line, and that's where my mantle attaches. On the posterior surface, if I turn it like this, you can see these two where the mantle folds. Here, you can see the in-current and ex-current canals where the water will go in, travel along, and then come back out this direction. So you can see how the mantle folds to create those two areas there. So, because again, this is the anterior side, so we have the posterior adductor muscle and the anterior adductor muscle of the muscle right there is the anterior foot retractor muscle. And there's also one on this side, a posterior foot retractor right about in this region, right about there. Underneath the mantle, which is what secretes the shell, the mantle, if I get this out of the way, I can see the gills right here. So there's the gills. These are the labial palps right there. The labial palps meet in a region right up here where the mouth would be located. There's a little hole that leads to the mouth right there. So labial palps right there. This is the foot. And then up higher, more dorsally located from the foot, is the visceral mass right inside here. That's where the stomach and so forth is. I can also see from up here, I haven't opened this yet, but this is the pericardial sac that contains the heart, which is located right about there. I'll open that up in a second. And we have, once again, we have the gills right there, foot, labial palps, adductor muscles, and at this point, kind of the only thing I can do now probably is open up this sac inside here to see the heart. See the heart right here. You can also see the kidney right about here. I don't want to damage it too much. If I now open my, I'm going to open up this visceral mass. You can see I've got into the where the intestines are now. This one's not particularly clean and easy to see, but you can usually see some digestive gland in here. It's kind of greenish, and then it's surrounded by a creamy sort of colored material that is the gonads. Okay, so what I'm going to do now here is I'm going to pin certain things to show you the kind of questions we ask on the exam. And typically what I'll do is I'll say put a pin in a structure like that. Also say what shell is this? Right or left shell? Right there. So there's my clam dissection, and most of the parts, maybe all of the parts, and hopefully that is helpful to you. So if we look at this particular layout here, one of the things I could say is, okay, is the shell by the white pin, is it a right, left, top, bottom? And so hopefully you could tell now at this point that the white pin is a left shell, and it's by the umbo. The blue pin is in the labial palps. The yellow pin is in the foot. The red pin is in the gills. The green pin is in the posterior adductor muscle. And the black pin is in the mantle. Now, some students might have mentioned that the black pin is on the paleo line, and that's not entirely true, but it's pretty close because the paleo line is actually on the shell, but that black pin, that's where the mantle would attach to that. So I think that's pretty good. So hopefully that helps you identify parts on your clam dissection, and hope you have a good day.